أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the realm of Surah Al-Imran, verse 11.
كدأب آل فرعون والذين من قبلهم كذبوا بآياتنا فأخذهم الله بذنوبهم والله شديد العقاب.
Their end is like the way of Pharaoh's people and those before them. They denied our signs, so Allah overtook them due to their sins, and Allah is severe in punishment. This verse continues the cautionary tone of the preceding one, which warned of the futility of wealth and children in protecting disbelievers from divine judgment. Allah said, "Indeed, those who disbelieve, their wealth and their children will not avail them anything from Allah." Here Allah draws a timeless parallel, connecting with the stubbornness of arrogance of the present rejectors of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with Pharaoh's people and earlier deniers. It sets forth an enduring divine law. Persistent disbelief leads inevitably to ruin. The mention of the way of Pharaoh's people is not a mere historical anecdote, but a vivid reminder of a recurring pattern. When disbelief becomes entrenched, it morphs into a habitual attitude, just as Fir'aun's people were immersed in tyranny and opposition to the truth. The use of Fir'aun's people rather than Fir'aun himself is intentional, highlighting the complicity of the collective in sustaining oppression, not just the leader. This linguistic choice powerfully rebukes those who aid and enable injustice. If the followers made disbelief their constant way, the leader's guilt is far greater. The resemblance between the disbelievers addressed in the verse and Fir'aun's people lies in two shared traits: arrogance that leads to relentless denial of signs, and a common fate, being overtaken by Allah for their sins. The Quran thus reaffirms that divine law is not bound by time or geography. Whoever persists in arrogant disbelief meets the same end. The rhetorical depth of the verse raises two instructive questions. Why mention Fir'aun's people rather than Fir'aun himself? And why choose them from among other historical deniers? The answer reveals deliberate precision. Fir'aun's people were not passive. They fueled and upheld his tyranny. Mentioning them deepens the rebuke. As for their selection, Fir'aun was a paragon of unchecked power and pride, boasting of his dominion, armies, and river, until he dared to seek a path to the heavens to observe the God of Musa. His arrogance was saturated with both delusion and ignorance, as described in the verse in Surah Al-Qasas, verse 39, "And he and his soldiers were arrogant in the land without right." The verse affirms three fundamental truths. First, that denial of Allah's signs is the binding trait among tyrants and mockers. Second, that Allah overtakes them due to their sins, a phrase that emphasizes both justice and immediacy. The term conveys a sense of direct confrontation. They are seized precisely because of what they committed, with full moral accountability. Third, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is severe in punishment, a description that balances His mercy and generosity. Its mention stirs reverent awe and cultivates a protective fear, one that shields the believer from self-righteousness and reckless indulgence cloaked in false hope. This verse establishes a vital spiritual equilibrium. It reminds the believer never to grow complacent in devotion, never to lean on mere aspirations, but to stand between hope and humility, aware that Allah's justice punishes according to the severity of sin, and His mercy welcomes those who sincerely return. With its precise wording and rich meaning, the verse contributes profoundly to the formation of a heart that understands divine law, internalizes divine warning, and lives with conscious submission. The balance between depicting divine patterns, correcting spiritual posture, and proclaiming the justice of punishment makes this verse a radiant example of Quranic guidance. And Allah knows best. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُّدَّكِرٍ